Hey, how's it going? It's Carl Johnson again, regular dad. This time we're going to start lightweight going, talking about credit cards and credit and a few things to help yourself out that I think a lot of people didn't realize that create such a problem, right? So we kind of have this thinking in our generation, like we're told, like, hey, you can get it right now and put it on a card and pay for it later. And until I think it was like 2011, I think Obama passed a law because the biggest problem with American families is their credit card debt. Well, they used to only have to charge you your interest for that month. So guess what that means? If you paid your minimum payment, which was the interest, that means that every month you made zero ground on that debt. Zero. That means you would pay that payment for infinity and would still have the same balance the entire time. So what it got changed to is it's interest plus 1%. This isn't that great, really, if you think about it, because 1% and interest paying means that you have 100 payments to make to hit 100%, which 100 payments is 100 months, which is 8 years and 4 months. So for the sake of numbers, we're going to do this nice and easy, right? Like if you had a $10,000 loan amount that you got for whatever you were going to get, right? And you borrowed it for 8 years. It took you 8 years, and you had a 12%, which is that's a going rate for an unsecured loan, right? We all know some of us got cards that are cheaper, right? Interest rates lower. If you have collateral, of course, it's going to be lower, but it's run of the mill. Some of y'all got some stuff out there for 21%. So 12% is just for the sake of easy math, right? The reason I say the sake of easy math is since it's 12%, breaking it down means that every single month your interest due is 1% of your balance, which means if you owe 10,000, the month that you pay, you're going to end up paying $100 in interest, right? So if you did that, right, you paid 1% of your balance plus your interest that you're going to be accruing, you'd end up paying $15,600, and it would take you 8 years to pay that off, right? Like some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about because it seems that like as you've been paying and you're like, oh, we're 4 years deep on paying that, and you still owe way, way more than you should, right? Like when you do the math in your head, you're like, well, $250 a month, and but you forget that 100 of that is going towards going right back to the man, right? So what you want to do, right? Like you got to get this thinking out of your head that I need this right now. Because no one likes to pay back stuff, right? Like it's not fun. Like you can say, hey, we're going to go to Hawaii and we're going to spend $5,000 when we go to Hawaii, right? Now, if you save that, you know what you'll do when you save it? You guys are going to eat top ramen. You guys are going to be cutting off lights because everything that you put away is going to be able to go to something great. We're designed to be good at saving because we love excitement. But somehow we've gotten away from that saving and we've gotten into, we'll just put it on a card and pay it back. But you know what we actually dislike is paying it back. So if you just put it on a card and go do it, you're not going to say, we're going to throw everything at this. You're going to say, I'm going to throw what I feel comfortable or what I really want doing. And guess what you get caught in? The interest trap. Your $5,000 ends up going from $5,000 that you could have saved from that, and it ends up becoming around $8,000 because you had to make payments on it. So what you want to do with that, right? Like the best way is to unbury yourself as quick as possible. And this is your new savings plan, is you've got to be able to tell yourself that there's greatness that's on the way. And it's a goal. Because human beings love to have goals. We love goals. We love it. And the people that don't set goals, that's why they don't accomplish anything. Set a goal. Say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to throw $500 a month. We're going to eat. We're not eating out. Like you have to cut everything else off, right? Like the biggest benefit to this, by doing this, by getting rid of credit, is you go from spending that $10,000, right? And that ended up becoming $15,600. Because guess what? If you save the money, right? And you were to save $250 a month, $250 a month for the year ends up being about $3,000 for that year, right? So to get to your $10,000, how long is that? That's just 3 years and a third. right? So you don't get it right away, but guess what? 3 years and a third, you have no interest on it. And you have an extra $5,600 that you would have used paying for interest. Now, if you calculate how many things that you financed that are 10 grand, 5 grand, whatever, right? They all end up accruing interest. And now everything that you got financed, you end up getting $30,000 worth of items for $50,000. Do you know what that other $20,000 could have been? A lot of things. A lot of things. What you wanted. You want that boat? You can have the same everything, the same life, the same, and end up with everything that you have the same, except you front load it by saving to buy it. And I'll tell you what else is great. When you go down and you're going to go look for a new car and you save 10 grand, well, when the dude shows you the one that's a little bit more than you wanted to spend, you ain't got it. So you're like, sorry, big homie, I can't get the 2015. I'm sticking with the 13 I was looking at. You spend your 10 G's and you have no payments, right? You don't, but when you go down there and you're just sliding a card or you're just going to throw it on credit, you're like, you know what, extended warranty, let's do it. And I'm going to go ahead and get this 18. I don't really need to. I don't really got it right now. But I got a raise come in. Like you start chewing into your money you don't even have yet. And then you start this trap of constantly burning your money before you get it. I got this coming up, so I'll be all right. We'll suffer for a little bit and then I'll be making more money and then we'll be okay. But then at the same time, then you're still overpaying. That's all interest does for you. They're saying, here, you're going to pay us to allow you to hold some of our money for a little bit at an interest rate that usually is not that great. So some of you are going to argue like, oh, well, I get 1% and da-da-da-da and all this other stuff, right? Like you get 1% interest or whatever buying a brand new car. But the problem with buying a brand new car is as soon as you drive a $50,000 car off the lot, it's worth $40,000 just when you get out on the street. So really, you didn't get 1%. Really, you got 10 G's plus 1%. So you didn't really win on that one either, right? So it becomes a factor of how bad do you really want to structure it? You know what I mean? Like how bad do you really want to do this for your life? And in closing for today, right? I don't like to hold you guys too long, but the real satisfaction from saving, like it actually makes you feel better, right? Like you completed a goal while saving yourself money, which is amazing, And the thing about saving money, I'm gonna tell you a trick because it sucks for everyone. You have to hide your money from yourself. Because if you just put it in your savings that's attached to your checking, when you want to get something extra, you're just going to slide them right over. Like, well, I've been doing great. I got 5 grand over here in savings. Let me just slide this $500 over real quick. And then you'll slide $800 over, right? Hide it from yourself. We all got direct deposit. Get a second direct deposit with $100 each paycheck, right? To some account in the city of Ocean Shores or somewhere, wherever the hell you want to put it, right? Somewhere where you actually have to actually drive and be inconvenienced to go get this money. And then you'll end up leaving it alone. And you don't even have to worry about the balance. Just check on it here and there, right? Like you don't even think about it. Put it in the back of your mind. Next thing you know, you look up, boom, you got $2,500 in savings because it's been a couple years and wow, it's racking up. I mean, it's actually quicker than that. It'd be like a year. Like if you did $100 a paycheck, you get paid 26 times a year. Like it would take you 1 year, you'd have $2,600 saved up, hidden from yourself somewhere, right? You just keep that going and forget about it. Get your raise, right? You just got that money going out. And then when you need something, instead of making payments, you got $2,600 a year that you've been putting away to get what you need. And there it is. But you got to get off the credit. You got to get off the credit. Like you can double the stuff that you get because you don't pay interest. You can buy an extra couch set, take 2 extra vacations every single year just because you don't have interest to pay. Okay? All right, closing. Last thing. And a lot of you guys like to play at the hustle and say, oh, I got my flight miles card, right? Like, so if you don't pay that before the 30 days hits and the interest hits, it is not interest-free plus free flights, right? So it's this juggle that these people are doing. Some people are phenomenal at it. If you miss it by 1 day, you have interest to pay. So if you're paying interest to get your 1 free flight a year and your interest does not supersede that plane ticket that they're going to give you, you lost. You did not win. And most people don't win because most people don't fly enough to even get this benefit of, oh, I'm getting flight miles. Like, you better be a flying cat to be, you know what I mean, to actually make that work for you. So stay away from that unless you really want to do the ultimate juggle every month. Like, look, 29 days, I got it. Here we go. Let me make this payment, right? Like, it's a lot of work. I'm telling you, hide money from yourself. Way to go. And pay off. Work hard and pay them off, man. You'll feel so great. Nothing greater. All right. With that, today, I'm checking out. Mahalo for watching. Aloha. All that good stuff. Everybody take care. See you again.